Today I'll be discussing the effectiveness of recovery plans in Australia by evaluating their limitations and their strengths. So firstly, what is meant by recovery when developing a recovery plan? Well, this is actually the first limiting factor, as there isn't one clear concept. Yes, sure, in general, a recovery plan is management actions to stabilise the declining condition of a target species, and yes, there are guidelines available of how to actually format the document, but overall there is no uniform framework to define the concepts of recovery, recovered status, and recovery plans. This is resulting in confusion between academic literature and legislation, leading to significant problems such as unpredictable decision-making, divergence and inconsistencies in recovery and recovered status definitions, and an inability to measure actual recovery, which is all limiting the success rate of recovery plans. This leads us to question if the limited resource of government funding is being used effectively, and if recovery plans even work. So a study by Bottrill and al. Found that the presence or absence of a recovery plan did not have a statistically significant effect on whether a species' status was improving, stable, or declining. They believe a contributing factor to this result is not the recovery plan itself, but the lack of basic accounting of recovery planning efforts limits the ability to refute or confirm the impact of recovery planning on species status. To combat this, Westwood and al. Have developed a uniform framework and concepts to assess species recovery and the effectiveness on the plan by having a 5-stage classification of recovery. So diagnosis, treatment, stabilisation, rehabilitation, and recovered. It's based on principles from medicine, but uses population health metrics such as habitat extent and population sizes to assess whether recovery planning on a target species is actually having an impact. So that's not the final solution, as many recovery plans are limited by many other factors, such as funding, the vast amount of resources needed to collect accurate data over a long period of time, and also the interest of the community can be a limiting factor as they add bias to which species have recovery plans. So recently there has been a shift to a landscape recovery plan, and this questions maybe, will this fix all those little limitations? And the answer is potentially, as by focusing on the cute and cuddly mammals that everybody loves and adores, will actually help stabilise and improve the recovery of the animals they might not like, such as spiders or even plants, which they might find boring. So basically, it can use the community bias of target species to its advantage. Another pro of landscape recovery system is that, landscape recovery plans, is that instead of resources such as money and humans being divided into heaps of individual plans that just focus on one target species, they can all be combined to the large landscape recovery plan, which essentially increases the chances of success as resources may be less limited, meaning accurate data can be collected over long periods of time. So in conclusion, by using Westwood's framework and the landscape recovery plans, many of the limitations of effectiveness of individual recovery plans can be overcome.